From One Hub Stadium in Brisbane, good afternoon everybody and welcome to the Australian Baseball League on Bandits.tv. Today a double dip between the Brisbane Bandits and the Canberra Cavalry. With Australian silver medalist Paul Gonzalez, I'm Eric Bramer. Thanks for making us a part of your Saturday afternoon. Today we're going to be raising a lot of money for bushfire relief and hopefully see a couple Bandits victories. Last night, a disappointing loss for the Bandits. They saw their 3-game winning streak come to a close, and with only 10 games to play, now's the time when the rubber meets the road. They need to win at least one. They'd like to win two today and win this series.
No, I agree. It is a must-win, but they've got their big man on the mound. They got Atherton. He had a tough start in Perth, but I think he's back, and I think Canberra will see the best of him today. Atherton
coming off of perhaps the worst start of his professional career, but when you look at the starting pitchers for the Bandits today, you've got Atherton going game one, you've got Travis Blackley going game two. I don't think there's any team in this league who can match the experience and talent that those two have.
No, and David's been smart with his bullpen. Even though it was a tough loss, he didn't have to utilize of his arm, so he's got a healthy bullpen, and I think he's set up for 2 games today.
The Cavalry have the 5th and final spot in the ABL pennant chase as we sit right now. The Bandits are just 1 game back. Let's take a look at how the Bandits will try and take this game as we see Tim Atherton starting up the warm-up tosses. Atherton is going and looking to come off of what was a pretty disappointing start, as we said. Atherton was unable to get out of the first inning, but it wasn't all his fault. The defense failed him a couple times. The team just came out flat in Perth last weekend. They don't want that to happen today.
No, not at all, but you know what? How fortunate. We've seen Atherton for the last 4 years, and I don't think we've ever seen that type of start from him. So, like I said, very uncharacteristic, but I guarantee you'll see the competitive Atherton that we know.
Robbie Podorsky leads things off, and the first pitch misses for ball 1 at 2:32 local time. It is overcast, and there is a chance of rain as the afternoon progresses here in Brisbane. 31 degrees, wind blowing out to right field as usual. And the count is 2-0.
Will be interesting, already falling behind the count 2-0 and not near the zone. So let's see how quickly he can find his rhythm. We talk about this Canberra lineup, 299 as a team, probably one of the strongest teams we've seen at home this year, and really 1 through 9. There's not really a chink in the armor.
Podorsky is batting 286. He had 2 hits last night. Also added a sacrifice fly and a walk. Lifted foul, the count is 2-2. Atherton on the year is 2-1 with an ERA of 6.50. The numbers looked a whole lot better before his disastrous last outing. Making his 8th start, he has 2 complete games this year. Both of them have come in 7-inning starts at home, and that's what the Bandits hope to get today. 2-2. Low and away, the count runs full. David Candelas and Tucker Nathans will follow here in the first.
Just trying to watch body language right now. You know, like I said, he seems to be going to his finger. I'm thinking everything's okay, but just trying to find his rhythm at the moment. He's in a 3-2 count, so this is a big pitch here.
Hit on a line to left, right at Dan Nielsen, who makes the catch for the first down. Let's take a look at the Bandits in the field. Nielsen is joined by Tim Colwell and Donald Lutz in the outfield. Ryan Battaglia catches, David Sutherland at first, Grant Kay at second, Logan Wade at short, and Wes Darville at third. The Bandits committed 3 errors in the field last night, and that is not what we have grown accustomed to seeing late in the season. It's something that has been a persistent issue early in the season in these championship runs, but it's something that has been generally tightened up as the campaign has gone along.
Well, you have to. You cannot concede outs against good ball clubs, and Canberra's a very good ball club with the playoff push for everybody at the moment.
First pitch swinging, David Candelas rolls it to third. Darville to his left makes the play, quickly 2 down.
Yeah, he's been one of the big, probably bright spots in the move. I know he played a fantastic second base when he first came in, but he's adjusted really well to third.
Up next, Tucker Nathans. Nathans, one of only 2 men in the Cavalry lineup last night that went hitless. He was 0 for 5. And in doing so, his batting average dropped beneath the 300 mark. As you can see there, he's batting 297. Atherton's season ERA jumped more than 2 runs after his start against the Heat in Perth last weekend. The line score, 2/3 of an inning, 9 runs on 8 hits, including 3 home runs. The wind was not favorable to the pitchers that day, but he was leaving pitches up, and the Heat were hitting them hard. Hit off the mound, fielded by Wade. Serves it over to first, and it's a 1-2-3 first inning. A couple hard-hit balls, but no damage done against Atherton. And now the Bandits will try and draw first blood after this on Bandits.tv.
Taking off overseas this year? You wouldn't believe who you may run into at the airport. The Brisbane Bandits have partnered with award-winning China Airlines to be our gateway to the world. China Airlines operate the brand new Airbus A350 out of Brisbane, so you can be assured of a safe, comfortable and relaxed flight to wherever you may be headed. With daily flights from Brisbane to Auckland and return, you may just bump into a few of our champions lending a hand on board. And we'll be doing our best to live up to China Airlines 5-star services. So wherever you're heading overseas on China Airlines, keep an eye out for the Brisbane Bandits. You just never know who you might see.
In the last 4 years, we have put up some numbers. Led the league in hits, RBIs, stolen bases, slugging, home runs, batting average, ERA, single season saves record. We've had 2 home run champions, 2 league MVPs, 4 ABL championships. But none of this would have been possible without Brett Sports, the official equipment partner of the Brisbane Bandits.
Scoreless as we head to the home half of the first inning at One Hump Stadium in Brisbane. The Bandits will send up this order to face Shinichi Onuki. Tim Colwell, followed by Logan Wade and Wes Darville. Mitch Nielsen, Donald Lutz, and Grant Kay, followed by David Sutherland, Ryan Battaglia, and Daniel Nielsen. Bandits are 13-17, 1 game back of the Cavs, with 10 to play. 2 of them will take place this afternoon and evening. As we said in the open, Gons, we're going to learn a lot more about the Bandits' playoff chances after today. A sweep would put them firmly in playoff position and knocking on the door of perhaps escaping the wild card round. But if they lose both today, they're going to face an uphill climb in the final 2 weeks.
And they will, and they've got tough teams to face. They've got Sydney at home, and Sydney plays very well against the Bandits, and then you finish up in Auckland. So, like I said, it's not an easy road, but it's a good road if you actually want to challenge for the Claxton Shield.
Shinichi Onuki gets the start in Game 1. He's 2-0 with an ERA of 2.49, making his 9th appearance, only his 2nd in a starting capacity. He began the year in the bullpen, but with the departure of Dusan Ruzic, he gets a chance here. In a 7-inning game, if he pitches well, he could save the bullpen for Game 2. Tim Colwell bluffs a bunt, takes ball 1.
I think that's one of the advantages that David will have, hopefully, and both teams will have. It's a 7-inning ball game, so if they can get 5 and possibly 6, then go straight to your closer, and then Game 2, you've got a few bullets.
Colwell serves it into shallow center, and that'll drop in front of Podorski for a base hit. Leadoff single for Tim Colwell. He and his speed are aboard. Let's take a look at the cavalry in the field surrounding Shinichi Onuki. Chucky Robinson gets the start behind home plate. That likely means that we will see Robbie Perkins catching the nightcap of the doubleheader. Wilson, Nathans, Melion, and Warner are on the infield. Kyle Perkins, Podorski, and Suter left to right across the outfield. Logan Wade homered 2 nights ago. Last night went 1 for 5. Switch hitter will bat lefty and try to, at the very least, get Colwell and his speed into scoring position. First pitch is at the knees for a strike, called by Gavin Carson getting the plate. First base umpire is Paul Latta. The third base umpire is the crew chief, Tom West. Low and away. Onuki is one of 3 pitchers on this staff on loan from the Yokohama DNA Bay Stars of the Japanese Professional League. Wade takes a ball. We're going to see a lot of soft stuff from Onuki. His fastball goes 91, 92 miles per hour, but he does have the splitter that you come to expect from players coming out of Japan and a couple other good breaking balls as well. 3-1 to Wade with Wes Darville on deck.
And that's what we'll watch is see, how long it takes him to refine, where his location is. Right now he's a little bit off with his secondary pitches, but a lot of times it looks like he's going to come in fastball here.
It just misses a 5-pitch walk, and the Bandits have their 2 fastest base runners aboard to begin the bottom half of the first inning.
Yeah, just saw Wardy asking Robinson if that ball was out, and Robinson acknowledged that 2-seamer ran out of the zone. So, like I said, everybody wants to make sure they capitalize on opportunities, and particularly with playoff push so close.
Bandits have the right man at the plate. Wes Darville hit a 3-run homer in the first inning of Thursday night's ball game. And since joining this club 2 weeks ago, he's hitting .324. Darville takes all the way, and it's a strike at the knees.
Yeah, he's been a bright addition to this ball club. His demeanor fits well within the clubhouse, and his contributions defense have been outstanding. And the bonus has been he's swung a hot bat since he's landed.
Infielder on the Canadian national team. He swung at the first pitch that he saw in the ABL and hit a rocket down the first base line for a base hit.
Well, this is where we talk about opportunities. We are a 7-inning ball game. It's how quickly can you apply pressure. First and second, nobody out.
Rolled on the ground towards second. Nathans to Melean, and that's all they'll get. Darville runs well, and he prevents the double play. It's a 4-6 fielder's choice with Colwell taking third in the process.
And we talk about positive outs. Even though he didn't drive the ball like he would want to in the situation, he put in play, he forced defense, put pressure on the defense, and now we've got first and third and 1 out. So it gives the Bandits an opportunity to capitalize in this situation.
Mitch Nielsen is 0 for 7 with 2 walks so far in this series. But he gets the start in the cleanup spot this afternoon. Switch hitter batting lefty. Will take his cuts against Onuki. First pitch chopped foul up the first base line. Paul Latta was right on top of it.
Yeah, big opportunity for the Bandits here. Nielsen's got to find a way to drive in a run right here. If he does, he puts pressure on Canberra early, particularly with Atherton. If Atherton has his game, we saw yesterday, Canberra put the bunt on early in the first inning. They're very, very confident in their arm last night. Can the Bandits put the same amount of pressure?
Just off the corner, the count evens. Onuki, 25 years old, mentioned that this is just his second start of the year. But a couple weeks ago, against the Bandits in Canberra, he was the first pitcher out of the gate in the game that was suspended and then resumed due to the smoke from the bushfires. Might be a double play. Off of Nathans, his only play is to first, and safe at first is Nielsen. Colwell scores, and the Bandits take an early 1-0 lead. It was the Bandits making those mistakes last night, and here in the first inning, the Cavalry turn a double play grounder into no outs and a run.
Yeah, really big opportunity. Nielsen hit the ball hard at second baseman. Thought initially off the bat would be turn 2, not fielded cleanly, and the hustle of Nielsen was able to beat it out. So once again, Bandits put a runner across the plate and continue to put pressure on Canberra here in the first.
Here's Donald Lutz. First pitch misses for ball 1. In that long relief outing against the Bandits, that came on the 21st of December, Onuki was brilliant. 1 run on 4 hits in 5 innings. Swing and a miss. Bandits went into the suspension of that game with a pretty comfortable lead, but Onuki kept his team in the game, and the Cavs eventually came back to win it. Down and in, 2-1. Mitch Nielsen will get an RBI. on that error. Can't assume a double play, so it'll just be an error on the second baseman, Nathan's.
So Lutzy finds himself in a 2-1 count. So hitting count with first and second.
Breaking ball bounced in front of the plate. It gets away from Robinson, and the lead runner, Darville, will advance to third base.
Yeah, good base running by Darville right there. The read is easy. At least the ball stays in front, and with a good secondary allows him to put himself in scoring position with one out.
Lutz should get something good to hit here on 3-1. He swings and rolls it to the right side, picked up by Nathans. Again has trouble, but is in time to recover and retire Lutz. Darville will score. The Bandits do take a 2-0 lead. They've made the most of the miscues from the Cavs infield here in the first inning.
Yeah, once again, good job by Lutz right there. Got a 3-1 count. Hooked the ball left side. Ball was slightly bobbled. Probably would not be a double play ball. That drives in the run and advances Nielsen to second.
2 down for Grant Kay, who got his first 2 ABL hits out of the way last night. A double in the third and an RBI single in the fourth. First pitch misses. Nielsen at second runs well. And he scampers back after Onuki steps off the rubber. Kay takes on the corner for a strike.
Yeah, Grant had a good game last night, going 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. Big loss for the Bandits, but it's great to see his bat come to life, and that's exactly what the Bandits will need at the right time.
Also made a run-saving play diving up the middle. 2-1. His throw to first to get the batter was not in time, but the runner at second tried to score with 2 outs. That was Kyle Perkins, and he was cut down at the plate. It was a 4-3-2 play. Another ball bounced well in front of the plate. Robinson has been kept busy here. It's 3-1 to Kay with David Sutherland on deck.
And I like the aggressiveness from the runner. Although he was thrown out at home, it only took the awareness of Sutherland at first to come up firing on that play. So really good base running and aggressive base running. Just came up a little bit short.
Kay takes a letter-high strike and the count runs full. Payoff pitch from Onuki. Fouled back. We mentioned at the outset that we're going to raise a lot of money for bushfire relief today. For every beer sold here at One Hump Stadium, the Bandits will donate $1. And for every home run hit by the Bandits today in both games, $100 will be donated to the bushfire appeal. Kay again, fouled straight back.
Good swing right there. Got a pitch just on the outer half, 3-2, but a good hack right there. So start seeing when batters start seeing the ball a little bit better. And a good aggressive swing in that count.
Another 3-2 from Onuki to Kay. Liner knocked down by Melean. Long throw across, and they got him. Brilliant play by Calvin Melean, diving to his right and delivering a bullet across the diamond for out number 3. Let's take another look. With Nielsen off, it almost certainly saved a run, and it ends the inning. On to the second in Brisbane. It's 2-0 Bandits.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
Bandits have an early 2-0 lead on the Canberra Cavalry as we head to the top of the second inning at One Hub Stadium in Brisbane. We're playing two today, a 7-inning game followed by a 9-inning game to conclude round 8 of the ABL season. Tim Atherton was able to do something today that he was not able to do in his last start, and that is get through the first inning. He did so on only 9 pitches, and he'll face Zach Wilson, Jarek Suter, and Chucky Robinson here in the second.
Well, the other thing, too, Bandits put some pressure early on a tough pitcher, putting up a 2 spot in the first. So that's exactly what Coach David Nielsen will want to see from his team, is put pressure on and then take a little bit of pressure off his big arm.
Zach Wilson has been held largely in check through round 8. First pitch lifted in the air right center. Deep but playable for Lutz, who gives way to the center fielder Colwell. Edge of the track, out number 1.
And you're right, and he's a tough guy to contain. Wilson swings a very aggressive bat. He's got fantastic plate discipline, and he's got power to all fields. So to be able to contain him is a big task for the Bandits.
Now Jarek Suter. Suter has impressed, especially with his arm in right field in this series. I know you had a chance to talk to him. You're both fellow TCU Horned Frogs, and he'll have a chance in affiliated baseball. He was picked up in the Rule 5 draft by the Cubs just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he's with the Pirates organization, and obviously an outfielder primarily, and the Cubs have Rule 5'd him, so he'll go to camp with the Cubs. And rumor is that potentially look at 2 ways to get him on the bump, and then you look at his arm strength. But like I said, a lot of potential both sides of the diamond.
1-1 to the right fielder. He got an outfield assist last night, throwing out Ryan Battaglia at the plate in the 3rd inning on a 2-out single off the bat of Logan Wade. Atherton delivers a strike, 1-2.
And that's a good pitch right there. Atherton snapped right there on the pitch. So, but I mean, I looked at the location, late action on his 2-seamer, and just paints that outer half, and that's when he's most effective.
Just off the corner. Bandits dugout wanted it, but didn't get it. And the count is 2-2. Atherton against the Cavalry back on the 21st of December. Allowed 3 runs on 7 hits in 4 innings. 2 home runs thrown in there. And he was also on the mound for that game that was suspended due to the poor air conditions because of the bushfires. Could have gone deeper, and there is the first strikeout of the afternoon for the Bandits righty. Foul tip hung on to by Battaglia.
Good pitch right there, and good location, and read back. And guys will have different pitches. They'll throw an 8 fastball with maybe a 2-seamer, and then they'll throw a 10 fastball 4-seamer. Looked like he reared back and threw his 10 fastball in the outer half.
This is Atherton's 4th start at home, and the first 3 have all been outstanding. Complete game 14 strikeout performance in round 2 against Geelong. First pitch is a strike to Chucky Robinson. Didn't get the win round 4 against Auckland, but he struck out 9 over 6 innings, allowing 4 earned runs. And then in between Christmas and New Year's against the Melbourne Aces, he had another 7-inning complete game with 12 strikeouts to boot, earning his 2nd win of the year. Seems to be in command of all of his different pitches today. He's got a quickly favorable count, 0-2 to Chucky Robinson.
Yeah, good tempo right there, and arm action looked really solid. Looked same hand location was same as fastball, and just spun him right there with a breaking ball, but a lot of late action on his curveball.
Robinson fights off foul. As long as it stays dry, these are ideal conditions for day baseball in Australia in January. Little overcast, no direct sunlight. While it's warm and humid, it's not too unpleasant out there.
No, it is. There's a bit of cloud cover. It's been cloudy most of the day, but at least it's a little bit better conditions for the players as well. And got a fairly large turnout today for Game 1, and they're projecting big numbers for Game 2 as well.
Atherton looking to finish off his 2nd consecutive 1-2-3 inning. 2 starts ago against Melbourne, he made a pretty competitive bid for a perfect game. 7-inning contest, he did not allow a base runner until the 6th. 0-2. Just off the edge.
He's hitting his location, but it appears from our side just off the plate. So it's a good call by home plate umpire. But Atherton's hitting his spot. So obviously he's always going to see how far he can potentially stretch the outer half if he can capitalize on that spot.
Spoiled again by Robinson. After the 9-pitch first inning and 5 quick outs, I think it's easy to recalibrate your expectations for Atherton. This might be one of those days where he goes the distance. Especially after the short start his last time out, his arm should have plenty of bullets in it.
Well, that's what he wants, and obviously that's definitely what manager David Nielsen wants as well. For Canberra, that's what they don't want. So it's like I said, it's playoff time. Good pitch.
Breaking ball gets Robinson. 6 up, 6 down for Tim Atherton, and the Bandits take a 2-0 lead to the bottom half of the 2nd.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like.
Robots.
But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip.
Look, kids, nature.
Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. You get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there. And you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
2-0 Bandits as we head to the bottom half of the 2nd inning at One Hub Stadium with Paul Gonzalez. This is Eric Bramer. Thanks for joining us today. Bandits wrapping up round 8. They'll be home again for round 9 against the Sydney Blue Sox. Then they head out on the road to wrap up the regular season against the Tuatara in Auckland. Should be some exciting baseball here in the final 2 weeks. The Bandits last year were in a similar spot before they won their final 7 games of the regular season, took the division, and eventually took their 4th consecutive championship. You never know what can happen, but this is a Bandits team that really hasn't made its move. They have one 4-game winning streak, one 3-game winning streak, and that's been it.
Yeah, look, but I think it's attributed to the balance of the league. When I look at the talent in Auckland, you look at the revamp in Adelaide as well, and the strength of this team. It's a very balanced league this year, so it's not like anybody has an opportunity to run away with it, so that's why it's a very tight horse race.
Bandits will send up 7, 8, and 9 to face Shinichi Onuki, David Sutherland, Ryan Battaglia, and Daniel Nielsen. Onuki labored in the first as he gets a check swing strike from Sutherland, 0-1. 26 pitches, 14 for strikes. He allowed 2 runs, but only 1 was earned. Second baseman Tucker Nathans had some trouble with a ground ball that led to a run. Quickly 0-2 to Sutherland.
Yeah, good pitch right there in better location. Early on, a little two-seam fastball just off the plate, and last 2 pitches really good location.
Down and in, 1-2.
It appears he's sped up his rhythm, so you look at him now, he's starting to control the tempo on the mound. First inning was slow rhythm.
Sutherland got a pitch up and sent it straight back. Sutherland reaches out and hits a soft line drive right to Nathans, who makes a knee-high catch for the first out. That'll bring in Ryan Battaglia, getting the start at catcher in Game 1. Jeremy Martinez is on the bench, and he will almost certainly start Game 2.
Yeah, Battaglia and Atherton were the combination in Premier 12, so I think Atherton's very comfortable throwing to Battaglia, and that makes a big difference. Guys like certain guys, back in the day when Maddox was in his prime, I think he had his personal catcher that primarily called him when he was with Atlanta.
Battaglia was the DH last night and hit his 2nd home run of the year. Splitter down, gets Battaglia to chase, and it's 0-2. That's a good pitch.
That's a really good pitch, and that's probably, you know, when you start seeing base star action with Yokohama, that's nasty. So, you know, in Asia, the tendency is to work off the off speed, and then 91 looks like 95.
Bounced in the dirt. That got Chucky Robinson between the legs, and he's going to need some time to walk that one off. Two strikes and 1 ball.
Tell you what, catchers earn their money. Just quietly.
Battaglia, a catcher himself, knows that feeling all too well, so he'll keep his distance.
What do you do as a physio right there? Just cough. That's about it.
Just got to wait for the pain to subside and stand up, crouch down a couple times. Deep breaths. Wait it out.
Manager pats you on the back. Keep going, kid. Looks like he's going to be okay. This catcher checking on him as well, so.
Round of applause from the home fans here, many of them male. Robinson has the mask back on, and we are ready to resume play.
I don't think he'd be throwing a splitty next pitch.
Two and two. Foul back. Onuki has only allowed one hit. It was to Colwell to begin the first inning. No base hit since, but that hasn't made things any easier for him. Now a full count to Battaglia with Daniel Nielsen on deck. Might have cracked his bat. A little pop-up caught by Nathans, 2 down.
A good location right there, just ran the ball on his hands, and that's what's so good when you can work those secondary pitches and you can show consistency with those secondary pitches. You start to sit on them as a hitter. Like I said, 91 looks like 95.
Here's Daniel Nielsen getting started in left field today. First pitch fouled back. Wade Dutton, we're told, is close. He was a late scratch from yesterday's lineup, dealing with a minor neck issue. Andrew Campbell is not on the roster this round as he deals with some back pain. This is a battle-tested team that knows that you'd rather have your guys rested and ready for the playoffs than potentially aggravating an injury in round 8.
Yeah, and look, David knows his ball club. He trusts the guys he has in lineup. Would he like Wade in the lineup? Absolutely. Would he like Soupy Campbell in the lineup? Absolutely. But protecting these guys and getting them healthy, particularly with 2 more series, is important, and potentially for a playoff spot where he's definitely going to need them.
Nielsen is 1 for 16 at the plate this year. Just hasn't had the consistent playing time to develop a rhythm at the plate. Popped up foul, third base side, and it reaches the seats. That's kind of a chicken or the egg scenario. Tough to get comfortable at the plate when you're not playing every day, and it's tough to get your name in the lineup every day when you're not playing to your capacity.
Yeah, look, but David would have roles for each guy. You know, these guys would know their roles on the ball club, and for him, it comes to training every day, preparing for an opportunity. So when you do, you've got to capitalize.
Called strike 3, and that does it for the Bandits in the second. It's a 1-2-3 frame for Onuki, and we head to the third. Brisbane up 2-0 on Bandits.tv.
The Brett Sports seated ball organization baseballs. Polyester construction means it's durable and its functional pockets allow for flexibility in an adjustable strap and soft cushion seat means that this organiser is essential for use of training.
Your screen when you do replay.
Bandits up 2-0 over the Cavalry as we head to the top of the third inning. Tim Atherton has gone 6 up, 6 down. A return to form for the righty after his disappointing and uncharacteristic outing against the Perth Heat last weekend. He issued some loud outs in the first inning, and he hasn't looked entirely comfortable, but maybe in a way that's a good thing. Keep him on edge and keep him sharp.
Absolutely, and like I said, you'll never take the competitiveness out of Atherton. So he's the right guy on the mound for the Bandits. He's got a 2-0 lead, and right now he's got to continue to focus on his execution of pitches.
22 pitches, 16 for strikes for Atherton. 7, 8, and 9 due up for Canberra. It'll be Cam Warner, Kyle Perkins, and Kelvin Melian. First pitch is a strike. Warner last night was 2 for 5 with a sacrifice bunt and an RBI single. Knee-high strike, late call. Warner doesn't like it.
Atherton's now starting to use that inner half of the plate, and then once you establish that, it makes that breaking ball a little bit tougher, and he's very good at working that outer half.
Warner hits it in the air to right. In now back is Lutz. He makes the catch. 1 down. That'll bring in Kyle Perkins. Perkins had a great night at the plate last night. 4 for 4 with a walk, 2 doubles, and a home run. He drove in 5 runs. First pitch from Atherton misses upstairs. Now, Atherton can pitch effectively up, and that's where he gets a lot of his strikeouts, but for one reason or another in Perth, those pitches up were getting hit hard. I know there's a very fine line between pitching effectively in the zone and just leaving pitches up. What's the difference?
Right there, good effective pitch, and depends on if he can start establishing that ball down in the zone, so you start elevating and changing eye perspective from the hitter. And also velocity. It depends on if he had the velo, and it didn't appear that he had, because normally when the ball's up in the zone in the low to mid 90s, it's tough to catch up with. The Heat didn't have any problem catching up on the day.
Swing and a miss.
That's a good pitch right there. Perkins had a big night against the Bandits last night, and just giving him different looks early in the at bat.
Got him. Knee high, strike 3. The third strikeout for Atherton. And just like his start 2 weeks ago, he has a perfect start to this afternoon.
Yeah, good pitch sequence right there. He went in, he went up, he showed him that breaking ball, and then he paints him on their half. That's a good at bat. Good pitching sequence for Atherton right there, and that's where he's showing he's got command of all his pitches here early in the ball game.
Here's Kelvin Melian. Melian had a walk and a sacrifice bunt in yesterday's game, but he's still looking for his first hit of the year. Added to the roster for this round. First pitch, line to left center field, and the Cavs have their first hit. Melian has his first as well. Big turn around first, and he'll hold up with a 2-out single.
And that's where we talk about balls up in the zone, and right there, good job of hitting right there. Got fastball up in the zone and capitalized. One thing Perth did as well, they They know he has a tendency of liking to work ahead in the count, particularly off his fastball, so very aggressive early in the count.
Lineup turns over for Robbie Podorski, who hit the ball hard his first time up, but lined out to left. Manager David Nielsen right now is walking in foul territory down the warning track towards his bullpen. And you wonder what he would be saying to his relief corps down there. Bunt attempt, it's fouled. Podorski tried to push it up the first base line.
Got a chance to interview Podorski yesterday, and he had a fantastic game for Canberra. One thing he said he plays it's really a scrappy type of game, and that's what he's shown us. He's not afraid to bunt. He's very, very aggressive on the base paths, and he reads the ball extremely well in center field. So he's a very scrappy player and good dynamic on this ball club. Looked like Tommy West was seeing what they're having a discussion about.
Bandits, I think, wanted that to be a foul out. Missing low. If you bunt it and it goes in the air and it's caught, then it should be an out. If it's a foul tip, it's a foul tip. And to pick up from the crowd mic, I believe home plate umpire Gavin Carson said that bunt hit the ground before Battaglia caught it.
I think Bennett was also questioning whether it hit the ground as well, and once it was confirmed, there was no argument.
Foul back. And we planted the seed about David Nielsen going down to the bullpen, so rather than leave you hanging, there are some porta potties down there too, so that might have been the reason for his mid-game walk. Atherton working out of the stretch for the first time, looking to finish off inning number 3. There goes Melian. The pitch is lined up the middle and a base hit. Melian was off, and he'll gain third easily. Runners at the corners, a 2-out rally now for the Cavs with David Candelas due up next.
Yeah, it's a good play by Canberra. What they're looking at, if he ends up striking him out or getting him out in that situation, if he ends up stealing the bag, he ends up in position which he's allowed to run first and third. If he gets thrown out on a steal attempt, you've got a very good leadoff hitter at the plate. So now that puts first and third and 2 outs with a very dangerous Candelas at the plate.
Candelas grounded out to third his first time up. Nice play made by Darville, moving to his left.
Did mention Candelas played his 250th game on Thursday night.
There goes Podorski. Battaglia can't handle the throw down low. And it will be a stolen base for Podorski, putting the tying run in scoring position.
And that puts pressure. He's a plus runner at second, so anything potentially gets through the infield, that's has the opportunity for 2 runs. Bandits lead this game here in the third, 2-0.
Candelas takes another breaking ball down. Got first base open, but Tucker Nathans is on deck.
This is an interesting matchup. Atherton and Candelas know each other really well, so they'd be very familiar with each other. So it's always tough when guys very familiar with your style. So he'll be careful in this situation with a very tough hitter for Canberra at the plate.
Melian dancing off a third. Pitch to Candelas is a strike. Atherton in a jam for the first time this afternoon. Atherton shook off. Candelas was tired of waiting, and he requests time. There's a strike.
Good pitch, good location right there for Atherton. Said it's a big at-bat for Canberra and a big out opportunity for Brisbane.
Atherton has 3 strikeouts. Looking for number 4. The pitch. Low and away, and the count runs full. Tucker Nathan's on deck. Everything here in the third has happened with 2 outs. Candelas hits it sharply on the ground. Low hop, but Darville stays with it, and he throws him out to end the third inning. Cavs leave 2 men in scoring position. Atherton works out of the jam, and the Bandits preserve their 2-0 lead. We'll be back with more after this on Bandits.tv.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Let's go, Archer. Beers away.
Thank you, Archer.
Looks like these guys are working up a tropical thirst, Archer.
Thank you, Archer!
Beers to the beach.
Yeah! Thank you, Archer!
They look thirsty down there in the outback, Archer.
Well, I'll be.
Thank you, Archer!
Yeah!
Good boy, Archer.
We're back in Brisbane for the bottom half of the third inning. Bandits on top of the Cavalry by a score of 2-0. Shinichi Onuki has retired 5 straight batters. He will face the top of the Bandits order, Colwell, Wade, and Darville, trying to keep this a 2-run game. Tim Atherton did his part in the third, facing his first jam. He got a ground out of David Candelas to strand 2 runners in scoring position. We remarked in the break, that was another nice play made by Wes Darville at the hot corner.
No, it was. And like I said, they're tough plays that he makes look easy, but he's been a fantastic addition with moving in from second over down to third base and probably saved a lot of big innings. And tell you from a pitcher's perspective, well appreciated.
Colwell dropped a single into shallow center to begin the first inning, and he came around to score on Mitch Nielsen's run-scoring E4. Missing down. Onuki has thrown 45 pitches through the first 2 innings. Lifted down the left field line towards the line, and that will land fair. Extra bases for Colwell into second, and a big turn he'll hold up there. Leadoff double for the Bandits center fielder. And he gets a nice round of applause from the fans for hustling that out.
I tell you what, he came out of the box extremely quick, and that ball was always going to be a tough play. in left field. Just landed fair in that left field corner, but good speed puts him on second base, and that's exactly what the Bandits want here in the bottom of the third.
Now Logan Wade, who drew a walk his first time up. First pitch just misses. Chucky Robinson turns around, wondering where that missed. Two and oh.
Well, now Wade finds himself in a hitting count with the runner on second base and nobody out. So if he can get something, he can drive down the right side or find an alley. He can put more pressure on Canberra.
Wade serves it to left center field. That carries, and it goes all the way up against the warning track. Colwell will score from second. Wade takes his place. Back-to-back doubles to begin the third inning. Both of them hit with authority to the opposite field.
Yeah, it's a very good job of hitting by Wade. If we get a chance to see that replay. Didn't try to do too much with the ball. He got a pitch probably middle away and down, stayed through the baseball and drives in that left center gap, and now makes it 3-0 in favor of the Bandits.
And Robinson will come out to have a chat with Onuki. Not quite sure the language barrier here, but there's no translator aiding this conversation.
No. Once again, Bandits put pressure on here early, and this is exactly what manager David Nielsen wants. He wants this ball club to explode offensively. They like he conceded yesterday. They just got beat by a very good side in the second game too. They had to come out in game 3 and apply pressure against a very tough offensive ball club.
West Darville will bat next. Home plate umpire Gavin Carson has been out there observing this conversation for a while and gave him a little extra leeway.
Yeah, look, I think you have to. Without an interpreter, you want to make concessions. There's still, even if he has an ability to speak and understand English, there's still the interpretation, so probably tolerate a little bit more under the circumstances. But for the Bandits now, they've got a man on second base and nobody out, and they continue to put pressure, and they've got now the heart of the order at the plate.
Darville reached on a fielder's choice grounded to second, his first time up. First pitch is fouled back. For Logan Wade, that is his 7th double of the year. It's 3 more than anyone else on this team. Darville checks his swing and holds up.
Good block by Robinson after tough block earlier in the ball game.
Got to be gun shy a little bit after.
Yeah, but I think, people understand these guys take so many repetitions. It's just instinct. So your instinct is to not be gun shy, and you just repetitions alone, trust yourself in that situation.
Darville chops foul off the fingertips of one of his teammates beyond the dugout.
And once again, you can see he's trying to make the effort of trying to shoot the ball the right side. Not only has he been extremely productive for the Bandits defensively, he's done a good job of hitting to situations and having quality at bats.
Darville checked his swing. Yes, indeed he did, says Tom West on the third base line. Still no outs in the inning. Some confusion about the count. We've got 2-2 here. Gavin Carson verbally said 3-2, then checked with Tom West.
I think Tommy West said 3-2 as well, so.
2-2, says first base umpire Paul Latta.
Latta's got 2-2. Westy got 3-2.
And now you can see the two players in the near field of the center field camera. That's Wade, the base runner, and Melian, the shortstop.
So we're back at we're at deuces now.
Yep. Our guys had it right in the production truck. Darville chops it foul. And it looks like Darville, while still having a two-strike approach, is hoping to pull the ball, and that's exactly what you want a left-handed hitter to do.
And that's what I said about hitting to situations. A lot of times people look only at the statistics of batting average, but these little things right here, being able to advance runners, driving in runners with less than one out, they're big at bats.
Fouled off again.
Tell you what, the sun's starting to peek its head out to a little bit of sunshine now on the crowd. Umbrellas are coming out, but still a gorgeous day.
Rip to right field. That's down for a base hit.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Wade will be held. Bandits learn their lesson with the arm of Suter in right field. Sharp single for Wes Darville, and the Bandits have 3 hits to begin the third inning.
Yeah, look, good baseball right there. Darville really good at bat, fought on some tough pitches. He got a mistake up in the zone, able to shoot the ball to right field, and good awareness by Roxburgh at third base coach to shut Wade down and not run into the out, particularly with the plus arm in Suter and right.
Out to talk comes J.J. Hoover, who was the starting pitcher on Thursday night and served in this capacity, kind of a pseudo-pitching coach.
Yeah, look, he spoke at the conference and discussed, he said he's still got plenty left in the arm and still has full intentions of contributing on the baseball field at a professional level. But really good experience and contributions back to the club filling a void as an interim pitching coach on this road trip.
Mitch Nielsen drove in a run with a grounder to second. But it could have been a double play. Nathan's had trouble fielding it. Everyone was safe. And that led to an unearned run in the first inning. Out in front, swing and a miss.
That's what you want to see. You want to see your guy in your keyhole in the 4th slot being aggressive, particularly with runners in scoring position. Bandits have a lead, but it's not a commanding lead against a very tough ball club. But it is a 7-inning ball game.
Missing down, and the count evens. Bounced in the dirt.
Good block by Robinson right there on a tough pitch in the dirt, and it keeps the runner from advancing.
Onuki just has not been able to establish a rhythm. First trip through the order, he allowed only 1 hit, but he has not seemed comfortable this afternoon. He's already thrown more than 60 pitches.
It's finding that command of that pitch. And you and I spoke about the transition of the MPB players going to play in Major League Baseball, and manager John Diebel mentioned the fact that the difference in the ball. You would have to say the same applies here with the Brett ball, that they're throwing just a different type of ball and seam.
5-pitch walk will load the bases for Donald Lutz. First 4 men have reached to begin the third inning.
And this is a bust-out time for Lutzy. If he can capitalize on this opportunity, nobody out, bases loaded, and that brings their big bopper to the plate with an opportunity to potentially break this ball game open.
Lutz drove in a run with an RBI ground out back in the first inning. Cavs would make that trade here. They're hoping for a double play and would gladly concede the run. Onuki's first. Lutz takes in.
And he missed bad there. It looked like Robinson was setting up away, and ball came in. So obviously just trying to see what their game plan against Lutz would be. Each team, each manager and coach would have game plans and situations. So now it's about execution.
Based on the way he stepped, it looked like he was ready to take a hack at that first pitch. The 1-0. Inside. 2-0. And now if you're Lutz, do you wait for him to throw a strike, or do you try and attack, assuming that you're going to get something good to hit?
I attack. You're in an aggressive position here with anticipating a strike, so you definitely want him in the attack mode.
Lutz attacks on 2-0, lifting it to left. It's deep but playable. Perkins is there. Wade tags from third, and he will score. That's a sacrifice fly for Donald Lutz, and a 4-0 Bandits lead.
And once again, it's a good out right there. He got a pitch down in the zone, but a strike. And he's so physically strong, able to shoot that ball in the left field deep enough for the sacrifice fly. And now the Bandits take a 4-0 lead.
Darville and Nielsen stay put. Here's Grant Kay. Kay grounded a short to end the first inning. And now, Darville takes third. There were calls for a balk, but no umpire stopped play. And Darville decided to just take an extra 90 feet. How about that?
No balk there. He actually just timed him and caught him sleeping. He stepped off, which why they didn't call the balk, but just outran the baseball to third. So now all of a sudden that changes the complexity of this inning. There is one out, but that's now first and third. So an opportunity for Kay to drive in another run.
It's the mark of a pitcher who's doing all he can to focus on the hitters. Hit in the air, right center field towards the gap, and past Suter all the way to the wall. Darville will score. Nielsen to third. He'll be held. It's an RBI double for Grant Kay. A 3-run inning for the Bandits and a 5-0 lead.
And that's a great at-bat by Kay. We got a chance to see him yesterday break out with his first Brisbane Bandit ABL base hit. He had a home run as well in that ball game. But that's when he started to utilize the whole field. Found a gap in the right center field gap, got it past Suter. And now with one out, the Bandits have taken a stronger lead with the threat still second and third.
David Sutherland is the 7th man to bat in the inning. He had a soft line drive to the second baseman his first time up. First pitch, breaking ball for a strike.
And this is where we talk about positive outs. You got first baseman is playing even with the bag, and so is third baseman. But shortstop and middle infield are playing double play depth. So if he can find a way to drive, there's no double play playing deep. If he can find a way to put the ball in play in the middle of the diamond, it not only scores a run, but it advances a runner as well.
Roller up the middle, tough play for Nathans. He knocks it down, but doesn't have a play. It'll be an infield single for Sutherland. Nielsen scores. Another run for the Bandits. It's now 6-0.
Another good at-bat by the Bandits and Sutherland right there. And it's just not trying to do too much with the baseball, staying within himself and hitting to the situation. Hit a tough ground ball up the middle. Good play by the second baseman. Didn't have a play on the throw. That scores another run for the Bandits, now making it 6-0.
Kay goes to third. Runners at the corners now for Ryan Battaglia. Battaglia and a little pop-up that was caught by the second baseman Nathans in the second. First pitch, another pop-up, this one on the left side of the infield. Warner is there, and he makes the catch. 2 down. Daniel Nielsen will have a chance. Nielsen went down looking.
So the golden rule for managers, what they'll look like at the end of games, if they can execute in situations 70% or more, they give themselves a chance to win a ball game. If you put that scale on the Bandits today, they've done a fantastic job of executing the situation. And that's really the key for them to continue to succeed and put themselves in that playoff position.
6-run lead in a 7-inning game 4 frames to go. Tim Atherton seems to be sharp today. That's a recipe for success. 1-1 now to Nielsen.
The key is for the Bandits to continue to put the pressure. You still have another game. Nothing's guaranteed. They're 1 game behind as far as this team here on the ball field right now of taking a playoff position. So we got to continue to put pressure on this club.
2-1. Nielsen chops it right side. Another tough play for Nathans. Throwing on the run. Wilson can't dig it out. Kay will score. The Bandits continue to pile it on here in the third. It's now 7-0.
There's always going to be a tough play to his left. He came up and a spin throw to first base. Wilson couldn't come up with the pick. The big factor right there with 2 outs that drives in another run for the Bandits.
We'll see if it'll be a base hit or an error. But the end result leads to the continuation of the third inning, and Tim Caldwell will bat for the second time in this frame. He started all this with a double, dropped just fair down the left field line. First pitch, a big swing and a miss. Caldwell serves it into right center field. That'll fall for a base hit. Sutherland chugging around third. He will score. Caldwell into second, and he's safe. The Bandits take an 8-0 lead. And Caldwell has his third hit of the game, second of the inning.
Tell you what, he hasn't scorched the ball, but he's just found that little spot right in front of center fielder. Once again, another quality at bat, another 2-out RBI for the Bandits, and now that extends the lead to 8-0 with 2 outs.
If I had to guess, that'll be a single and an advance on the throw home. But an RBI for Caldwell. And here's Logan Wade, who hit an RBI double to the left center gap earlier in the inning. Wade takes a ball. Under normal circumstances, you would think that Onuki would be out of the game by now, but because there is another game to be played tonight, a 9-inning game, he's going to have to wear this one. And it's 2-0. Game day is a little bit behind. We do not yet know if Nielsen gets a hit or an error, and if Caldwell gets a single or a double. But we'll let you know when we find out.
I'd assume single with the advance on the throw, and then it'll be a question mark of how the scorekeepers read that if he thought he had a play. I think if Wilson picks it or if he makes a better throw, he gets him out. So it's a judgment call.
4-pitch walk to Logan Wade. And now Wes Darville will take his second turn at bat in the inning. It is not going to come against Shinichi Onuki. Keith Ward has seen enough, and Onuki will depart with a big mess in the third inning. 8 runs already in against the Cavs righty. He didn't get a whole lot of help from his defense, but not the start that he was looking for in his encore performance against the Bandits. Cavs make a pitching change. We'll be back after this.
How good is this?
Eight 0 Bandits. We're still in the third inning. And with 3 men on base, West Darville will face Reese Neat. We saw Reese, the former Bandit, back on Thursday. He allowed the long home run to Wade Dutton. And he comes on in mop-up duty here, trying to bridge the gap and help his team hit the reset button for Game 2 without burning up too many bullpen arms.
Yeah, we talked about Reese early in the piece. Big contributor to the Bandits for a number of years. He's made the changeover into the Cavalry bullpen, and he's a good addition for them. He gives you quality innings. He's a competitor, a two-pitch guy. Probably to his disadvantage, his Bandits hitters would be very familiar with his stuff, so he's got to really work hard knowing that they're familiar with what he has on the mound.
Darville is 1 for 2. With a single earlier this inning, he's already scored 2 runs in the game. Again, game day is a bit behind. They might have had some trouble keeping up with everything that's happened, but Onuki done after 2 2/3 innings. All 8 runs are his, plus all 3 runners on base. One of the runs that he allowed back in the first was unearned because of an error made by his second baseman. We're not sure on the Daniel Nielsen grounder to the second baseman Nathans if that'll be an error or base hit. That'll impact how many earned runs Onuki has on his tally when it's all said and done. He struck out 1 batter and had some trouble finding the strike zone, walking 3. Nielsen is at third, Caldwell is at second, and Wade is at first. Bases full of Bandits for West Darville. First pitch is on the inside corner. Well, so far in this series, we have not had a close game. It doesn't look like this will be a close one either.
It's almost been like a heavyweight boxing match, just blow for blow, both teams coming out with their offensively. Game 1, it was the Bandits. In Game 2, it was Canberra, and now we're into Game 3. It's the Bandits throwing some very heavy blows and now leading 8-0 here in the third.
Tim Atherton can breathe a little bit easier. This has been a long break for him in the dugout, but he doesn't mind as long as his team keeps scoring him runs. Darville lays off the breaking ball, 2-1.
What do we say with the bushfire appeal is $1 for every beer,
yep,
and 100 for every home run.
Still haven't seen a home run, but
That's
I'm sure we've sold a lot of beer today.
Absolutely. We'd like to see some long balls. So
Darville pops it up foul. Neat has an ERA of 14.21. That's 10 earned runs in 6 1/3 innings, spread out over his prior 7 appearances.
I was just watching the foul ball. There was a lot of little youngsters, probably all under the age of 8, all had aspirations of catching the pop-up until they saw the ball coming down, and it was like a grenade. They all scattered right before it hit the ground. So
come down pretty hot, can't they?
They come down hot.
2-2 from Neat to Darville. High fly into shallow left center. Melian is there, and the shortstop makes the catch to end a very successful third inning. For the Bandits, they score 6 runs and extend the lead to 8-0. On to the fourth, you're watching Bandits.tv.
Taking off overseas this year? You wouldn't believe who you may run into at the airport. The Brisbane Bandits have partnered with award-winning China Airlines to be our gateway to the world. China Airlines operate the brand new Airbus A350 out of Brisbane, so you can be assured of a safe, comfortable and relaxed flight to wherever you may be headed. With daily flights from Brisbane to Auckland and return, you may just bump into a few of our champions lending a hand on board. And we'll be doing our best to live up to China Airlines 5-star services. So wherever you're heading overseas on China Airlines, keep an eye out for the Brisbane Bandits. You just never know who you might see.
In the last 4 years, we have put up some numbers. Led the league in hits, RBIs, stolen bases, slugging, home runs, batting average, ERA, single season saves record. We've had 2 home run champions, 2 league MVPs, 4 ABL championships. But none of this would have been possible without Brett Sports, the official equipment partner of the Brisbane Bandits.
It's a big lead for the Bandits, 8-0 over the Canberra Cavalry as we head to the top of the 4th inning in game 1 of our doubleheader here at One Hub Stadium in Brisbane. With Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer. Tim Atherton is back out on the mound after a long break. The Cavs need a whole lot of offense to get back in this game. And it's the wrong guy to do it against. Atherton is, at his best, one of the top pitchers in this country. There's a reason that he is the trusted arm of David Nielsen when pitching for the Australian national team.
And that's what he needed. He also needed his offensive team to explode. They've done a good job for him today with an 8th spot, and we still haven't seen a home run today. So they're actually playing good execution small ball. They're utilizing the whole field. They're not trying to do too much. They're hitting to situations, and then they allow him to get back into his rhythm in his comfort zone. He looks like he's settled really well today, and he's throwing the ball extremely well for the Bandits.
Atherton has thrown only 40 pitches, 29 for strikes. Swing and a miss from Tucker Nathans. Heart of the order due up for Canberra. Nathans, Wilson, and Suter. Just beneath the knees, 1-1. There's a strike, 1-2.
Good pitch right there, and just showing good command of that breaking ball. So he's been sharp today. He just struggled a little bit with command in the first, but he, as like we've seen, very typical of Atherton, he just gets stronger as the game progresses.
Just missing, 2-2.
And that's what we talked about earlier in the piece about the elevated fastball. Good job by Tucker laying off it. A lot of guys will chase the high 4-seamer just outside of the zone, but didn't bite.
Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 4 for Tim Atherton, and out number 1 in the 4th inning.
And once again, we see that momentum, and he, like you said, he progressively just gets stronger as the game. Get a chance to look at the location again. It's good late 2-seam action on it. It's just tough to lay off of.
Zach Wilson flying to center his first time up, and he takes a called strike. Breaking ball bounced in the dirt, 1-1. Kind of some hazy sunshine. It was 31 degrees at first pitch. Plenty warm, and you can feel the moisture in the air. There's supposed to be rain coming either later tonight or early tomorrow. As long as it doesn't interrupt the baseball, we're thrilled to see it. Rolled towards third. That eats up Darville, and Wilson will reach. We've seen Darville so good at third base, but sometimes a bad hop is just a bad hop.
Yeah, it is, and this is where the ground does get a little bit tougher to play. It's been a hot day. Once the ground starts losing moisture, it starts to chop up, and those ground balls get a little bit tough. But Wilson hit a lot of ground balls at third base side with a lot of overspin, just ate him up. Just looking at the bomb now, there are light showers out west. They seem to be out there. There's nothing too sinister at the moment. There's some stuff south of us at the moment in Lismore. So be good rain for Lismore and those areas, but maybe just light stuff coming through Brisbane later in the day.
And if you're in Lismore and are watching right now, come over here because it's dry. Some seats still available for tonight's game, we assume. Expecting close to a sellout for the nightcap. Suter fouls back 1-1. Suter was a strikeout victim his first time up.
Tell you what, he's a big unit, Suter.
That he is.
Stood next to him and looks like a football player.
The beard helps.
Yeah.
Suter stands 6'2", 253 pounds.
Linebacker material right there.
Two and one. Two one coming. Fastball lifted to right center field.
Wow.
Long run over, and it gets by Colwell. Up against the wall. Wilson into third. He'll hold up there. It's a double by Suter. That was well struck. Colwell almost tracked it down, but once it got by him in a hurry.
Yeah, I tell you what, that ball was absolutely scorched in the gap, and Colwell's a plus runner. I almost able to run it down, but just balls hit too hard, and now Canberra threatened with one out with man on second and third.
Now Chucky Robinson. Robinson struck out to end the second inning. Rolled towards short. It'll bring home a run. Wade throws across, and Robinson is retired. It'll be an RBI groundout, an unearned run against Atherton, and an 8-1 score.
And that's what Atherton wants. He doesn't want to just pitch the situation. He concedes the run, but gets the out. So that's 2 outs and a man on second base.
Now Cam Warner, who flied to right to begin the third inning. Atherton and Battaglia going with multiple signs. Suter at second base. Suter in college actually caught a little bit. And I guess he's grown a little bit. You looked up his TCU stats. He was not a big power threat back then.
Well, he lists at 6'4", 235.
So he shrunk 2 inches?
I still see him at 6'4". I probably list him wrong, but he's sitting at 250 now, so he's put on 20 pounds. But just looking at career numbers, 310, 186 in 2013, and he hit 273 in 14 when he signed with the Pirates.
He's hit 4 home runs this year in the ABL. Warner lifts high and deep to center. Colwell going back. With room, he makes the catch. Cavalry turn an error into an unearned run. But the most important thing for Tim Atherton is He got outs and he got them quickly. We're halfway home in this 7-inning game. Brisbane up 8-1 on Bandits.tv.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
8-1 Bandits on top of the Cavs in game 1 of today's doubleheader. As we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, it'll be Nielsen, Lutz, and Kay to face Reese Neat, who left the bases loaded and got the final out of the 3rd inning. That was a great 3rd inning for the Bandits. They scored 6 runs. 12 different batters came to the plate. Still unsure on the ruling and how many earned runs and unearned runs will be on the tally of Shinichi Onuki, but 8 runs in total will be on his ledger. If you're Reese Neat, pitching against your former team, you just want to make sure you're throwing strikes.
Yeah, and if you're the Bandits, you want to make sure you have quality at-bats. Even with an 8-1 lead, you still want to have good at-bats. You still have game 2, so use that. If you're struggling a little bit, use these at-bats to get you locked in for game 2. If you're swinging a hot bat, continue to have good at-bats to carry that momentum into game 4.
Mitch Nielsen drove in a run and reached on an error back in the 1st, and then walked and scored in that 6-run 3rd inning. First pitch misses for ball 1. All 3 games have been lopsided, including this one, and as a result, neither team has had to use their closer. The Bandits have not thrown Ryan Searle on a game mound, though he warmed up briefly on Thursday night. 2-0.
And that becomes a factor. We've seen David, he did in Perth. When they had a lead, they went to Searle in the 8th. So you could imagine the same thing with Canberra. If they have a lead going in, you can go to Kent early as well. So you can go to in the 8th as well.
Fouled back 2-1. Now, Stephen Kent is the closer for the Cavs this year. And he's in a similar mold where he has enough experience starting where if you have a lead in the 8th inning, you put him in to get the final 6 outs.
Yeah, he's a AAA arm. He's an Australian representative. He threw the ball extremely well at the Premier 12, and his velocity was up in the low 90s this year.
Low and away, 3-1.
I got a chance to bump into Josh Warner. I'd seen him a number of years, and he's actually finishing last year in Commerce.
Strike, and it's 3-2. Nielsen will have to.
Nielsen unbuckled too quickly, so you got to. He decided to go without the boot.
It's tempting fate.
It is.
Let's hope he doesn't bang one off his shin.
Never take the seatbelt early. Always make sure the car's at a full stop.
Hit in the air to left. Perkins is there, and he makes the catch. Well, at least Nielsen didn't injure his shin, because he would have been mad at himself for about 2 weeks. He had hit his shin on the 3-2 pitch.
No, Reese would have thrown that signature slider right there, and he might have done it.
Here's Donald Lutz. Hitless today, but he's driven in a run in each of his 2 turns at bat. RBI ground out in the first, and a bases loaded sac fly to left in the third. Outlaws singing the Donald Lutz Magic Hat song. First pitch, a strike. Second pitch, a strike, and it's 0-2. Lutz lifts a high fly into shallow right. Second baseman Nathans is there, and he makes the catch. 2 down. Need has retired all 3 men he's faced, and all 3 have been flyouts or pop-ups. Here's Grant Kay, who hit an RBI double his last time up. First pitch misses down, ball 1.
Tell you what, Reese has come in and done a good job for Canberra. He came in with an 8-0 lead and bases loaded, and he's been sharp since he's entered this ball game.
One and one to the new Bandits second baseman. Got to say, both teams in today's game have the tricolor caps. Bandits aren't wearing those. They're their BP hats, but it's a sharp look. I know you like them as well.
Yeah, no, it was a new design this year by owner Mark Reedy. Came up with, and he also came up with the signature logo on the side, the 4-peat. So they're still available in the merchandise store. I think he's even done some snapbacks as well.
I just got mine a couple days ago.
Did you go snap or did you go fitted?
Fitted.
Fitted.
I'm at a point in my life where I think my head is going to remain the same size, so I'll get a fitted cap.
And they're using the diamond collection, so there's less with the wool. They tend to shrink a little bit once they age. They seem to hold their shape a little bit better.
Just like Major League Baseball, those BP caps are intended to be lightweight. Low and away 3-2 with David Sutherland on deck.
Well, particularly with the Queensland climate, it only makes sense to break away from the wool. I know the wool traditionally is the go-to cap, but when you're playing in 30-plus and sometimes 40-degree weather and humidity, you do need a little bit of relief.
Payoff pitch. Fouled back.
Good pitch right there, and just we talk about signatures. Little two-seamer probably sits in that low to mid to high 80s when he ramps up, but you know he's always throwing that slider, and he's got 2 different speeds on it. So guys will have to really stay focused with Need on the mound.
Another 3-2, and it's ball 4. Kay draws a walk, and David Sutherland will have a chance. Sutherland had an infield RBI single his last time up and then scored from second on the Tim Colwell single. First pitch to Goofy is a strike.
Everybody clap your hands. Check it out, y'all.
Neat sets, and the 0-1. Sutherland was right on it, but fouled it straight back.
Robinson's taking a few blows today, but he's pretty tough back there.
If the Bandits can sweep the doubleheader today, the season series between these two clubs will be tied 4-4. 0-2 upstairs. And I'm digging through the ABL rulebook right now to find the second tiebreaker behind head-to-head in the event these two teams end the regular season with identical records. In most cases, it would be division record. 2-2.
Exactly where he wanted it. Robinson set up on the outer part of the plate, and he split him right down the middle, but just sitting up on the outer half. So good discipline by Sutherland to lay off a tough pitch.
It is indeed divisional record, the second tiebreaker. Sutherland pops up foul. No room behind home plate. Robinson gets a fresh pearl and throws it back to Neat. Two-two. Swing and a miss, and that does it for the Bandits in the fourth inning. They get a 2-out walk, but nothing else. On to the fifth in Brisbane. Bandits on top by a score of 8-1.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. Get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there, and you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
8-1, Bandits lead the Canberra Cavalry as we head to the top of the fifth inning in a 7-inning contest. Game 1 of 2 in our doubleheader to wrap up round 8. With Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer. Tim Atherton has allowed an unearned run through his first 4 innings. He'll face 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Cavalry. With Canberra badly in need of a rally against one of the best pitchers in the country.
And I'll tell you what, and on the other side of the coin, Canberra have done a good job. I mean, they conceded the 8 runs, but they've shut the Bandits' offense down. They're in a 5th inning. That is 8-1. There's still plenty of baseball left, but bullpen for Canberra has done quite a good job today.
Kyle Perkins will lead things off. He struck out looking his first time up. First pitch misses for ball 1. and now 2-0. Right now, the Cavs have a better divisional record against Northeast Division opponents than the Bandits. They're 6-8. The Bandits are 5-9. But if the Bandits win this game, obviously that'll even up. 3-0 with Kelvin Melian waiting on deck. It might seem too early to talk about those tie-breaking scenarios, but there are only 8 games left after today.
That's it, and there's high probabilities that it could come into play.
Popped up, and the green light on 3-0, and it goes out of play.
And neither team have an easy runway to the end of the season. So normally, I think last year we had to finish up with Geelong. They weren't a strong ball club, and Bandits were able to sweep that series, put themselves in first place of the division over Sydney. But this year it's Sydney and then finish up in Auckland, which currently sit at the top of the ladder.
There's a strike, 3-2. Auckland right now is in first place with a 17-13 record. They took 3 out of 4 from the Bandits here in Brisbane in early December. It is very possible, if the Bandits catch fire, that they could escape the wild card round, maybe even win the division. But a more modest goal would be to secure the playoff position, and then after that, get the 4th best record in the league, so you're hosting that 1-game wild card. The Bandits can do that and send this guy out on the mound in his home ballpark. They should like their chances.
Yeah, and that's forecasting. Obviously, David will always tell you he plays one game at a time, but you and I are at the luxury to forecast and make predictions, and that's the fun part of what we get to do.
We don't know if it will be Atherton, but he is the 2-time defending ABL Championship Series MVP. He's the definition of a big game pitcher, and might be on track today for his 3rd complete game of the season.
Yeah, just looking at next weekend as well, just matchups. You've got Adelaide Giants versus Melbourne. That'll be a great head-to-head. Melbourne's still playing really good baseball, and they're playing at Melbourne, so that's always a tough place to play. And then Geelong will be hosting the Perth Heat. In the following week, around the league, Brisbane obviously will be in North Harbour Stadium against Auckland, and Geelong will be playing in Adelaide against the Giants. So they probably have a good finish-up round with Geelong.
Perkins pops up back of first. Sutherland is there with room in foul territory. He makes the catch. Long at bat is won by Atherton. Perkins retired for the first down.
And that's tough because, like I said, Perkins had a big monster game against the Bandits yesterday. Well, both Perkins brothers had big games, and Atherton's able to contain him today. And the last series for Canberra, they'll actually take on Sydney in Blacktown. So that'll be must-wins again in a very tough series, and it's always tough to play in Sydney. And then Melbourne will travel to Perth, and they'll have to take on the Perth Heat in Perth, which they're always tough as well.
Reports of Sydney's demise have been greatly exaggerated. When they lost Gifton Gope and Alex Maestri a couple weeks ago, some around the league thought that they were cooked, but they've managed to continue to win games, and they have a home field advantage in that offense is suppressed, it seems, anytime you go to Sydney. They've found out a way to win low-scoring contests. 0-1 coming.
And you and I spoke briefly, and I think it's probably worth noting, Auckland, particularly at home, it has been spoiled to a degree with 7-inning ball games. And when I say spoiled, not having to stretch themselves into that extra 2 innings. Is it a factor that there's 6 outs, that more? Will it come into play? Potentially playoff time? I think it has to, because you get conditioned like anything. Good pitch, good location.
Melian chases the high fastball. It's the 5th strikeout for Atherton, and out number 2 in the 5th inning.
There's that elevation right there, and when you're sharp with your command, and he's sharp down, he's sharp with his breaking ball, then you can get the guys to chase, particularly with 2 strikes, the elevated fastball out of the zone. and able to get the big out for out number 2. But that will come into play. You know, you like you said, as a team, you get conditioned that the 7th becomes your 9th. All of a sudden, you extend that. And I know the guys have had to play 9 on the road, but at home, they've had the conditioning of 7.
For reference, the Tuatara are 12-4 in their home ballpark and 5-9 away from Auckland.
So it does statistically come into play to a certain degree, considering they sit at top of the ladder and they're very, very strong at home. A lot like the Bandits. The Bandits use the doubleheader to their advantage. They get to drop Atherton in the 7th spot in the 7-inning ball game, which then takes pressure off David's bullpen, particularly if he can work deep in the ball game, which he normally does.
Robbie Podorski has one of the Canberra hits. They have 3 in total. He singled in the 3rd, then stole 2nd, but was left there. A strike, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, good pitch, good location, and just like I said, just seems to. This is very typical Atherton. We did notice early in the season after Premier Trophy, he was actually sharp early. Today was like working his way into it, kind of like a big steam locomotive, and he's slowly progressed into his rhythm on the mound today.
Breaking ball, Podorski lays off. Last year was the first season of the one-game wild card in the ABL, but we have now almost a decade of reference in Major League Baseball to see how managers attack those games. While you do want your best starter on the mound to begin that game, you know that your season can end that night, so it's all hands on deck. Just missing. The Oakland Athletics a couple years ago used their Australian reliever Liam Hendricks as an opener in the wild card game. Didn't go well, but that strategy was deemed valid enough to try it underneath the bright lights.
Yeah, and look, and that's where you can start mixing up the chemistry. You know, Milwaukee's done that very good. You know, they've used different looks and not giving guys more than 2 and 3 looks as far as batters, and just mixing up that chemistry for the batters.
Some of it might depend on the Bandits' opponent if they are in that wild card game. Fouled back. Go ahead.
Well, one thing we do know, David he'll work out his recipes for success well in advance, and probably one of the more advanced baseball minds in the country as far as what his game plan will be. We tend to sit up here and watch and learn most of the time.
Payoff pitch from Atherton to Podorski. Called strike 3. That ends the 5th inning. 6 strikeouts and 5 good innings for Tim Atherton here in Brisbane in Game 1 of today's doubleheader. We head to the bottom half. It's 8-1 on Bandits.tv.
Brett Sports seated ball organizer fits 5 dozen baseballs. Polyester construction means it is durable and its functional pockets allow for flexibility in storage. An adjustable strap and soft cushion seat means that this organiser is essential for the use of training.
Bottom of the fifth inning coming up at One Hub Stadium. Overcast day for now, but the Bandits have enjoyed it quite a lot. It's an 8-1 lead thanks to a 6-run third inning. 8-9-1 due up for Brisbane. It'll be Battaglia, Nielsen, and Colwell against Reese Neat, who has not allowed a hit in an inning and a third of relief. Talking about the Bandits' playoff alignment should they get there. We do not yet know the availability of Ryan Ballinger, who has been the Thursday night starter for the Bandits the last few weeks. Not quite sure yet what his Northern Hemisphere baseball commitments will be. Anything they can get out of him will be a plus come postseason. Rick Teasley was very good in the rotation and has been good as well in the bullpen. He's a lefty option in case you need someone to go through the lineup once if it's a lefty-heavy lineup. Battaglia is 0 for 2 with a pair of pop-ups, 1 to third and 1 to second. First pitch, foul back.
I think that's one of the advantages David has. Every arm has been utilized efficiently this year. He hasn't really stretched anybody out beyond their capability, so I think there'll all be fresh arms come the next 3 series, and obviously preparing for playoff baseball. That'll be his intentions.
Battaglia takes up and away, 1-1.
It's really been a tight ball game. I mean, the real difference in this ball game is Bandits have capitalized in the first and the third, and they've been really contained outside of that.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. We saw with the Bandits trailing by a lot of runs last night, some of the younger players getting a chance. Battaglia takes low and away. Here with a 7-run lead, 2 innings to play. Might you see some of the regulars get pinch hit for here in the final frame or two?
No, I don't think so. I think the game's still too close. I mean, even 8-1, when you've got your big man on the mound, David's not going to put himself in a position where something could slip away. So, and you want to keep your guys strong going into Game 4. They've got Monday off, training on Tuesday, optional hitting on Wednesday, and then they'll compete against on Thursday. So they've got their recovery day will be Sunday, Monday.
3-2 pitch from Neat to Battaglia. Ooh. Called strike 3. That's a strikeout for Reese Neat, his second. And Reese has been public in his support for fundraising efforts on the Australian bushfire. He put on his Facebook page that he'd be donating some money for every strikeout he had. He's got 2 today, and it's a little more good that has come out of the baseball community in the face of tragedy.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's good to see. I know all the sporting codes, tennis, every code that I've seen it's involved is trying to find ways to contribute to a tough situation in Australia, and his contributions are greatly acknowledged as well. And I think Kent has made a pledge as well, and Atherton as well. He's got for strikeouts and for wins. He's making contributions, and they're personal contributions, not just from the organization but from the individual.
It's an issue close to home for Atherton, who has had some family affected by the bushfires. Nielsen rips it down the right field line. That's fair into the corner. Extra base hit, and it pops out of play over the short fence. Nielsen will get an automatic double. It's good to see that from Dan Nielsen. His second hit of the year was hit with authority and down the right field line.
Yeah, good job. Got a pitch up in the zone, able to hook it down the right field line, and the ball goes into the bullpen, so it'll be an automatic stand-up double. Once again, the Bandits put threat with the top of the order at the plate.
Tim Caldwell is already 3 for 3 today. Single and a run scored in the first, RBI single in the third, and a double and a run scored also in the third. Caldwell takes at the knees for a strike. Strike. Caldwell decided not to offer at that breaking ball. We're still having some issues with game day and the live stat tracking. It's been frozen in the bottom of the third inning. Since the bottom of the third inning. Caldwell takes upstairs. So we do not know the full line stats on the starter Shinichi Onuki. We don't know if Nielsen has a hit, though we assume that was an error charged to the second baseman Nathans back in the third inning. Neat's pitch. Missing down, that's the slider. Caldwell was able to lay off.
When we talk about still having good at-bats, you know, the Bandits still have another game. So it's just where it's so important mentally for these guys to still finish strong, try to carry that momentum going into Game 4, which is a very important game because with the win, this ties them with Canberra, and obviously the goal is to take a lead in that playoff chase.
Close pitch taken and the count runs full. Logan Wade on deck, first base is open. Payoff pitch. Caldwell lines it down the left field line, but that'll turn foul, landing on the warning track. Another 3-2 coming to Caldwell. Popped up foul and out of play. In Game 2, it'll be Travis Blackley going for the Bandits. No designated starter for the Cavs, but talking with manager Keith Ward, he has a name in mind. Stephen Chambers will probably go in that game for them. Gold Coast native. Caldwell chops up the middle. Charging second baseman Nathans. Has to hurry his throw, and he does. Caldwell just retired. That's out number 2 with Nielsen taking third base.
Yeah, good play right there by the second baseman. He's had a tough day at the second base spot, but he comes up with a good play for out number 2. That round advances a runner to third base in Nielsen, but there are now 2 outs.
Logan Wade is next. He hasn't been retired today. A pair of walks and an RBI double for the switch-hitting shortstop. Needs first pitch, a big swing and a miss. Wade hits a pop-up left side of the infield. Warner's there, and he makes the catch. Well, Reese Need has done a fine job. That's a silver lining for this afternoon's game for the Cavalry. Bandits are in control, leading it 8-1, going to the 6th on Bandits.tv.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Let's go, Archer. Beers away.
Thank you, Archer.
Looks like these guys are working up a tropical thirst, Archer.
Thank you, Archer!
Beers to the beach.
Thank you, Archer!
They look thirsty down there in the outback, Archer.
We'll all be.
Thank you, Archer!
Yeah!
Good boy, Archer.
Tim Atherton is back out there for the 6th inning, and why not? He allowed only one unearned run over 5 solid frames, and the Bandits' offense has given him a 7-run cushion to work with. 8-1 our score. With 6 outs to get, Atherton should have a chance for his 3rd complete game of the season. This is a guy who, prior to this year, had only 1 complete game in his ABL career. He has taken charge at the right time. Now old enough where you don't have to worry about limiting his pitch counts. He knows his body better than anyone else, and he's a competitor. He'll be out there until he cannot get batters out anymore.
Yeah, look, and he's fully healthy. I think one year we had just some issues and health issues, and David really was careful on how he utilized him. And one thing David does extremely well is how he monitors his arms and all his players physically and makes sure that they're at their apex when he needs them, and that's come playoff push time. Atherton came in very strong this year after pitching successfully in Premier 12 for Team Australia, and once again in very Atherton form is now starting to get his strong momentum at the back end.
Atherton used to play for the Cavalry. In fact, 4 different seasons, 2010, 2011, 2014, and 2016 before joining the Bandits in 2017. Also had 1 year mixed in with the Sydney Blue Sox back in 2012. David Candelas is 0 for 2, a pair of grounders to third. 1-1 now the count to the DH. 2, 3, and 4 due up for Canberra. Candelas, Nathans, and Wilson. Candelas chops to third. And for the 3rd time today, Darville retires Candelas, out number 1 in the 6th inning.
And that's what you want to see. You know, everyone likes to see the strikeouts and the velo and sharpness. But I tell you what, any pitching coach and manager love to see are the soft outs. So right there, just a soft ground ball, and utilize his defense. It keeps his pitch count low, and utilizing his defense helps his efficiencies.
Now Tucker Nathans 0 for 2 with a grounder to short and a strikeout. Curveball starts high and stays high, ball 1. Big swing and a miss. Atherton has struck out 6 batters. Just as importantly, no walks so far. Pitch to Nathans. Gets a called strike.
Yeah, good pitch, good location right there by Atherton. And once again, still very sharp here in the 6th.
Nathans requests time, stepping out of the box, a couple extra practice cuts. Anything to throw the pitcher off of his rhythm. Atherton pretty unflappable, however.
He'll just reset as well, and he'll go back into his routine, so nothing seems to throw him out of his rhythms.
Just missing. Atherton wanted it. And he walks down the back slope of the mound to ponder his thoughts an extra moment.
The body language says a lot right there, and that's what pitchers want. If they've been consistent with their locations, they want reward as well, but just unable to get the pitch off the plate.
Lifted down the left field line, but foul and out of play. We're going to have a break in between games. Game 2 will start at 6 o'clock at the earliest. This has been a longer than usual 7-inning game, so might be a little after 6 when it's all said and done. Wind is picking up. It's always been blowing out to right, but it's blowing out with a little bit more velocity here. Nathans gets jammed, but he sends it into left center field. It'll drop for a base hit. In on the trademark, but he got it in the air, and the 15-love serve gives Nathans his first hit.
He was playing him pretty much more towards left instead of pinching him in the middle, so he's able to find that gap between Nielsen and Caldwell for a 1-out single.
Now Zach Wilson. Wilson is 0 for 2, but he reached on an error by the third baseman Darville in the 4th and came around to score what is so far the only Canberra run.
Just checking on the bomb, so there's a bit of light rain still west of Brisbane.
Cracked foul.
So there's a bit of light stuff behind that as well, so hopefully that'll blow through.
We can play through light stuff.
Yeah. Light stuff is good here. Just takes the edge off everything, and this field accepts water well, and if they get the tarp down in time, if there is any rain, we'll still get that ball game in.
Fouled back. 0-2.
And just like you said, we still have home runs to hit to continue.
Yeah, man. 8 runs with no home runs. That's very unlike the Bandits here in their home ballpark.
Correct.
$100 for every Bandits home run hit today will be donated to the bushfire appeal. There were also Goodwill buckets set out at the entrance to the gates today. Fans could contribute their pocket change or whatever they had. Oh-2 to Wilson. 1-2 to Wilson.
Good pitch, good location right there. And that's that elevated fastball. See if he can get Wilson to chase the ball out of the strike zone. He's probably one of the more disciplined hitters in the league and able to lay off the high fastball.
Last night we told you about the former Bandits pitcher Liam O'Sullivan and the t-shirt fundraiser that he started. He has sold, according to the website, 402 t-shirts.
Wow.
Raising $6,800. Pretty incredible. Congratulations to Liam. 2-2. Pitch just missed wide. I will wear mine with pride. I got to chip back to the States because I figure I'm only going to be here for a couple more weeks. So.
Be a collector's piece.
Yeah. Cool design. 2-2. Called strike 3. Wilson frozen by the curveball, and out number 2 in the 6th inning. Strikeout number 7 for Atherton. Here's Suter, who doubled back in the 4th. He's 1 for 2 in total. Because Suter was picked up by the Cubs in the Rule 5 draft, his ABL season is soon to come to a close. We've been impressed by him in round 8, that's for sure. Nathans goes, it's a strike, and there's no throw. Even in the 6th inning, that might be ruled defensive indifference. Suter fouls off on a mighty cut, 0-2.
I think it looked like he geared up on fastball right there and got a hard breaking ball and just cued it off the end of the bat. It's funny, we talked about home runs. Suter didn't hit a lot of home runs in college. Actually didn't hit any home runs in college. And another guy like that didn't really break out with the bat with home runs power was T.J. Bennett. T.J. played a lot of his college career and didn't sign professionally out of university and came here and became explosive with the bat and went on to play a few years with the Giants and I think 1 year with the White Sox organization and started showing power and developed his power later on in his career.
Another strikeout for Tim Atherton. He has 8 over 6 solid innings, and the Bandits hold an 8-1 lead going to the home half of the 6th inning. You're watching Bandits.TV.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
It's 8-1, Bandits on top of the Canberra Cavalry as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning at One Hub Stadium. Looks like we've got a defensive change. New left fielder in the game for the Cavalry, and the umpires are trying to figure it out just as we are. So we'll see what gets logged into the game day. But Reese Need is still in the game for the Cavs. He's been good. Came on with the bases loaded and 2 down in the 3rd inning, got the final out there. Worked around a walk in the 4th and a double in the 5th to put up zeros then as well.
I have to share a little bit of AYC championship updates for Queensland. Under 16s, they've just completed their game against Victoria White, and they won that game 12-8. So congratulations to under 16 Queensland. And the under 18s won their game 10-0 against ACT.
I believe we've got Zach Wilson now catching. And they're playing musical chairs in the Cavs defense. So we'll try and get all those straightened out here. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Bandits. Darville, Nielsen, and Lutz against Reese Neat. Darville is 1 for 3. First pitch is at high and deep but foul down the right field line, out of play.
Well, he's trying to back leg him and put the first $100 in the till. So at least they're now starting to change their launch angles in game, the back end of this ball game. But look, like I said, I've really been impressed offensively by the Bandits tonight. They've stayed within themselves. They've hit well to the situation. No one's trying to get too big, and that's really probably been the difference of this ball game. It's always hard. The tendency for hitters is when they play at smaller ballparks is trying to do more, and technically you probably need to do the reverse, do less. Stay within yourself, utilize the gaps, and then the mistakes will take care of themselves if you barrel things up.
Live scoring is back, and as we suspected, Daniel Nielsen reached on an error by the second baseman Nathans in the third. Tim Caldwell got a single and advanced to second. 2-1. And so the line on the starter, Shinichi Onuki, 2 2/3 innings, 8 runs, 5 earned on 7 hits. He threw 80 pitches, 44 for strikes. Darville swings and misses, and the count is 2-2.
Good pitch.
Ken Frosch is getting loose in the Bandits' bullpen. Tim Atherton has thrown 91 pitches, 63 for strikes. Due up in the 7th inning, all right-handed hitters, but we haven't seen Frosch yet, so he might get a chance to close things out. Darville pounds it off the plate. Two from Neat to Darville. Popped up, foul, third base side, and out of play. Another 2-2. Darville lays off and the count runs full, and Mitch Nielsen is on deck.
Yeah, good job right there. Ball just bounced on him, so obviously change out that baseball to make sure it wasn't scuffed. It looks like he's going to put that back in the bag. Pitchers will love that, but good job of laying off a tough pitch.
Payoff pitch coming to Wes Darville. Fouled straight back.
And this is a good at-bat right here. You remember we talked about, having quality at-bats. Even though you've got an 8-1 lead, you still want to finish strong as a batter. Carry that mental momentum going into Game 4. So Wes is still having a quality at-bat.
Called strike 3. Darville knew it. That's out number 1. And strikeout number 3 for Neat.
Yeah, good pitch, good location by Neat. He gave him a couple different looks and just painted him on the inner half, and that's probably the toughest pitch to handle with 2 strikes because you're trying to protect everything else. So it looks like we will get a pinch hitter.
Jacob Nielsen.
Jacob Nielsen get a chance to swing the bat again, and Jacob spoke extremely well at the interview, and both young development players mentioned the fact that just acknowledge the opportunity just to make contributions in any capacity.
Nielsen went down looking in his lone at bat last night, but caught a fly out as he played right field. Mitch Nielsen had gone 0 for 2 with an RBI ground out reaching on an error and a walk and a run scored. It's the DH position. Easy sub. Popped up behind home plate. And out of play.
Ooh.
Before Nielsen stepped to the plate, one of our good friends next door in the official scorer's box ran down and handed a slip of paper to the home plate umpire. So we're not the only ones having trouble with the Cavs' defensive changes. I believe they've got different players at catcher, first, second, and left.
Okay.
But we don't know who. 0-2 coming to Nielsen. Swing and a miss. He's down on strikes,
So
out number 2.
Did Robinson go to left?
I think he might have.
Yeah, he's gone to left, and then obviously Perkins behind the plate.
Perhaps. Here's Donald Lutz.
No, there's Perkins in the dugout. I see number 9. And Robinson's actually in the dugout as well. So they have had some player changes.
Yeah. Big swing and a miss. Well, you'd have to assume that one of the new players in the game for the Cavalry is Lee Mills, because he's one of 2 bench moves listed on the roster. Robbie Perkins is the other, and as you said,
he's in the dugout.
He's in the dugout. They also have Jack Middleton, but he has not been assigned a number on the roster, so our guess is as good as yours as to where he is on the field.
It's funny, a lot of people say, why can't they get names on jerseys?
Mills is at second. Just saw him.
Mills is second. So the reason why now, they go with a sublimated type jersey. So a lot of the jerseys are pre-produced before even rosters are finalized. So a lot of times it's hard to get it done unless they're producing locally. And Canberra was able to do that. They've got names on their jerseys this year. Good-looking jersey, by the way, and helps the fan as well.
Needs pitch, misses wide, 2-2 to Lutz. Ken Frosch is no longer throwing. That either means that he's warmed up and ready to go, or Atherton has told his pitching coach and his manager that
I've got another one.
He's got another one. And you can see Atherton right now in the dugout. He's got a towel around his neck, and he's tipping the Gatorade bucket to stay hydrated. Lutz pops up behind home plate. It'll reach the seats. Landed on top of us, I think.
Dude. I was looking at one of the fans has a Yankee jersey on with the name on the back, which is not normal.
Well, the Yankees don't wear
correct
names on the backs of their jerseys, but the fan retail versions, I guess, do. Another 2-2, another foul. In the top of the 7th inning, the Cavs will send up 6, 7, and 8. Batting 6th was Chucky Robinson, but he's no longer in the game. I assume that's where Mills will bat, but again, nothing has been entered into the record. Two-two. Lutz checks a swing and lays off. Count runs full. Grant Kay is on deck, hoping for a chance. Just past the 5 o'clock hour here local time. Got started at 2:32.
Just looking at the forecast, so with an hour out, there's some light stuff. It shows anywhere from 0.02 to 0.05 mil.
Reese Neat strikes out the side. He's fanned 5 in his return to Brisbane. That's a lot of money raised for the bushfire relief. And we head to the 7th inning. 8-1, Bandits on top on Bandits.tv.
Taking off overseas this year? You wouldn't believe who you may run into at the airport. The Brisbane Bandits have partnered with award-winning China Airlines to be our gateway to the world. China Airlines operate the brand new Airbus A350 out of Brisbane, so you can be assured of a safe, comfortable and relaxed flight to wherever you may be headed. With daily flights from Brisbane to Auckland and return, you may just bump into a few of our champions lending a hand on board. And we'll be doing our best to live up to China Airlines 5-star services. So wherever you're heading overseas on China Airlines, keep an eye out for the Brisbane Bandits. You just never know who you might see.
In the last 4 years, we have put up some numbers. Led the league in hits, RBIs, stolen bases, slugging, home runs, batting average, ERA, single season saves record. We've had 2 home run champions, 2 league MVPs, 4 ABL championships. But none of this would have been possible without Brett Sports, the official equipment partner of the Brisbane Bandits.
It's an 8-1 Bandits lead as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Bandits are 3 outs away from a victory in Game 1 of our Twin Bill. And Ken Frosch will try and get those 3 outs. Tim Atherton was great today. 6 innings, only an unearned run on 4 hits. No walks and 8 strikeouts. He threw 91 pitches, but hopefully he has bigger innings left in this season, and they want to make sure that he's fresh for those.
Yeah, he did exactly what David needed him to do, and the offense did what they needed to do, and that was put up a big crooked number. Outstanding numbers for Atherton, and that's very, very typical of what he does, particularly in this ballpark. So that's a good sign for the Bandits, particularly in a must-win game here in Game 3 of this 4-game series.
All right, I don't feel too bad about not having the correct identification, because the Cavs' defensive replacement, who is now taking his turn at bat, has his number taped on the back of his jersey. We'll take that to mean it's Trent Buchanan, who was not assigned a number on the official lineup card we were given.
Well, now he's number 1.
Now he's number 1. Swings and misses at the first pitch. Buchanan is a development player for the Cavs, and he's the bullpen catcher traveling here on the road. 18 years old, selected as a catcher in the 2019 Australian Schoolboys baseball team following the tournament in Geelong last May. He'll be heading to junior college in the States in August.
I like that. I think it's Cam Warner for Canberra did the same thing, went to JUCO for a couple of years and then ended up at TCU and played in the World Series, and who's on deck for Canberra. So it's a good pathway for these young men. It gives them a chance to play in structured programs and then at the same time build on their academic side as well.
Buchanan is 0 for 1. And strikes out here to begin the top of the 7th inning.
I think David mentioned it yesterday in his post-game press interview about opportunities for those young catchers, particularly do a lot of hard yards in the bullpen during game days. If they can reward them with an at-bat or, some game time, it's just more of an acknowledgement of what they do, just catching those bullies.
Now Cam Warner. First pitch misses, inside ball 1.
Yeah, Cam had a very interesting journey, and this talks about the greatness of this ball game, of this game as a whole. Obviously, Canberra, young man, and got an opportunity to play junior college baseball in America, and then ended up going to Texas Christian University and ended up playing in 2 World Series and signed with the Detroit Tigers.
Frosch gets a strike in there. It's 2-1. Ken is making his 14th overall appearance, all of them coming in relief. Look at the Outlaws. They're having a good old time.
It may go viral.
I think those are deal with it glasses. Is that the meme? Line foul. Frosch has pitched in only 9 innings in his 13 appearances. He's a short haul lefty reliever, but he's pitched well. And just because he's pitching here in Game 1 of the doubleheader doesn't mean that he's automatically out of consideration for the nightcap. Chop towards third. Darville charges and throws. Warner retired. 2 up, 2 down.
Once again, a tough play that he makes look easy, and Darville gets around the baseball extremely well and throws well on the run. And that's probably an attribute from him playing a lot of shortstop. So he's very good, as well as Logan Wade, of fielding on the run and throwing on the run. So another out for the Bandits.
Last chance for the Cavs is Kyle Perkins, who's 0 for 2.
You were spot on. You're up to your current. I didn't even know what the deal with the glasses was. So obviously, I've learned something new today. So thank you. Thug life.
0-1.
I don't think he's a proper thug, but he's got the thug glasses on.
With a win, the Bandits will pull even with the Cavs with 14 wins, as this one is lifted foul, back of third, and over the tarp out of play. We don't say it to discount the Cavs' record because we know that it was out of their control, but they're about to fall to 14-17 when, in fact, they have played to a record of 12-15. 4 games last weekend that were not played gave both Canberra and Adelaide a half win for each game that they could not contest on the field.
Yeah, and look, at least the league's able to make a decision. That's the main thing. You've got to make a decision, and then you move on. And the reality is there were circumstances outside of their control. The league made a strong decision, and now it's progressed from here. It'd been a lot tougher if it had been the last
strikeout to end the game. Frosch pitches a 1-2-3 7th. Atherton goes the first 6 strong, and the Bandits win Game 1 of the doubleheader by a score of 8-1. 6 runs in the third was all Tim Atherton needed, and now a chance to sweep the doubleheader and win the series coming up later tonight. We're going to end this stream, but don't go anywhere. Later tonight, right around 6 o'clock local time, that's less than an hour from now, we will be back on the air for the 9-inning conclusion to round 8 between the Cavs and the Bandits. The final score in Game 1, the Bandits 8, the Cavs 1. Thanks for watching.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Let's go, Archer.